Check, check. This will turn red. That'll turn red.
I was kind of hoping all of them would.
Good afternoon. I'm Carolyn Weems, Vice Chair of the School Board, and I'd like to call this informal workshop session to order at 4 o'clock, April 28th. Madam Clerk, will you please announce the roll?
Thank you, Vice Chair Weems. Present in the School Board Chamber are Vice Chair Weems, Mr. Bowensteel, Mr. Callan, Mr. Culpepper, Mr. Cummings, Ms. Dwyer, Ms. Felton, Dr. Green, and Ms. Rogers. And presently on Zoom is Chair Brown.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Do any of my colleagues have any school board administrative matters or reports?
Yes.
Okay, Ms. Felton?
Yes, I'd just like to say that I had the opportunity to meet with Indian Lakes Elementary School Community Day. It was wonderful, and I got the chance to meet with the PTA people as well, parents, and the coordinator. So I made a pinky finger promise that I would wear my tie shirt that they did for me, and that's how I'll be showing it. So I just want to let you know it was wonderful. The engagement with the students was as well. 5th graders, 3rd graders was great. So I just want to get a shout out to Indian Lake Elementary School.
Thank you. Any others?
Yes, I wanted to just report that yesterday was the last meeting for the Mental Health Task Force, and I don't want to step on Mr. Jameson's toes because I know he will be giving a full report to the board on our committee. But I did want to do a little tiny shout out for the team because they did so much good work this year. Our access team updated our utilization chart, which helps to document all mental and behavioral supports offered to our students. Our awareness team did the Celebrating Children event, which was an amazing event, which you'll get to hear more about in his report. And I don't know if Dr. Robertson's doing something on that, but you guys will see it. Our family engagement team We have a work in progress, which is a family connection video to be able to be accessible to the community by mid-May. And our staff mental health team created a staff mental health resource utilization chart. And I specifically wanted to do a shout out to our partners, which always help us with our work and are so instrumental in everything we're doing. Our partners were NAMI, the Kempsville Center for Behavioral Health, CHKD, the City of Virginia Beach Child and Youth Behavioral Health, City of Virginia Beach Prevention Services, City of Virginia Beach Office of Consumer and Family Affairs, City of Virginia Beach Department of Public Health, the Sarah Michelle Peterson Foundation, as well as our internal people with family and community engagement, the Office of Opportunity and Achievement, K-12 gifted programs, Department of School Leadership and administrators and school counselors, as well as school psychologists. So thank you, everybody, for a great year.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Callen.
I attended the Weather Education Day at Harbor Park, and I don't know if it's been officially announced to the public yet, but Dr. Robertson will be leaving us and signing a contract with the Baltimore Orioles because he threw out the first pitch, and it was so impressive to the organization that he has a sports agent now that's representing him, and it was nothing short of stunning.
If it was cricket.
Secondarily, on that same August day, although it was in April, Matt Cummings and I had an opportunity to attend the Student Advisory Council meeting that was held with the students at Kempsville High School, and we had an opportunity to mix and mingle and interact and answer questions that they were raising and just participate in the process of engaging with students and learning from their point of view. So it was a stunning day marked by stellar accomplishments. Thank you.
Thank you. I hate that I missed that, Dr. Robertson. You know what a baseball fan I am. All right. I don't see anybody else. All right, colleagues, I do have the sign-up sheets. I'm going to start here with Ms. Felton, make sure it gets all the way around. It's for the May one-on-one meetings and school visits with Dr. Robertson. All right, we are moving on to program collaborations supporting students, staff, and families, childcare, and expanded student opportunities. We'd like to welcome the Director of Employment Services, Amy Church. Welcome, Ms. Church.
Good afternoon. Chairwoman Brown, Vice Chair Weems, members of the school board, and Dr. Robertson. On behalf of Dr. Darnita Trotman, Chief Human Resources Officer, and the Human Resources Department, I am Amy Church, Director of Employment Services. This afternoon, we are pleased to welcome representatives from the City of Virginia Beach Parks and Recreation and the YMCA of Southampton Roads. Today, we are excited to highlight how our collaborative programs support students, staff, and families across our division. This presentation showcases childcare options, expanded opportunities for students, and the strong partnerships that make this work possible. We will begin with an overview of our partnership history, shared mission, and core values. Next, we will highlight the unique services, programs, and opportunities each partner organization offers to support students, staff, and families. We will also showcase how these partnerships create meaningful experiences and resources at both the elementary and secondary levels. Our partnership reflects goals 3, 4, and 5 of Compass to 2030 by investing in staff, strengthening family and community connections, and advancing organizational excellence. Together, Human Resources, Parks and Recreation, and the YMCA provide meaningful support through shared resources, accessible programs, and strong community collaboration. Delivering on all 3 goals in a coordinated, student-centered way. This partnership began in the 2022-2023 school year with the introduction of Child Care Program to the school board. In 2023, 2024, we expanded outreach through Principals League meetings, and in 2024-2025, we welcomed additional members to our work group to strengthen this collaboration. Now, in 2025-26, our partnership continues to grow as we expand programs and increase access. Although each organization has a distinct mission, we are united by a shared commitment to youth development, family support, and community engagement. VBCPS is dedicated to empowering lifelong learners. VB Parks and Rec strives to exceed community expectations through inclusive programs, and the YMCA advances youth development, healthy living, and social responsibility. Together, we extend learning beyond the classroom and create safe, enriching environments where every child can thrive. Before highlighting each partner's specific offerings, it is important to recognize the common strengths they share. Both Virginia Beach Parks and Recreation and the YMCA provide programs within VBCPS schools and facilities, giving families access to childcare, enrichment, and extended day support. Their services are available during school breaks, staff work days, the summer months, and weather-related closures. And both organizations also offer financial assistance to help make these opportunities more accessible to families. At this time, I am pleased to introduce Mr. Harry Young and Miss Tiffany Cole from Virginia Beach Parks and Recreation, who will share programs and services they provide.
Good afternoon. My name is Harry Young, and I'm the coordinator of Virginia Beach Parks and Recreation out-of-school time programs. We are proud to offer a wide range of elementary and middle school programs that support students, families, and school staff throughout the year. Parks and Recreation provides very affordable before-school care at 30 elementary schools and after-school programs at all 55 division elementary schools and ODS, including our RISE academic enrichment programs at all 14 Title I schools. Additionally, we offer after-school programs at 4 of our community recreation centers. In total, we serve over 2,500 Virginia Beach elementary school students each day. We work and communicate closely with the school division to provide as much support as possible to parents during school closures and inclement weather events. We offer break camps during school breaks and summer camp opportunities at 11 school division elementary and middle schools and 5 recreation centers. In addition, we also offer 2 8-week school-based RISE summer enrichment programs. Our RISE summer program serves students whose families meet financial assistance criteria. Parks and Recreation summer camps and programs are designed to encourage curiosity, creativity, and cognitive activity throughout the summer, in addition to supporting students' social and emotional development and physical health. Our Parks and Recreation Students on the Swim program provides swimming instruction for over 1,400 second graders from 18 schools and continues to expand. Our many recreation center-based specialty camps further extend opportunities for student engagement and enrichment. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Tiffany Cowell. I am the coordinator for the Virginia Beach Youth Opportunities Office in the Department of Parks and Recreation. I'm also a proud graduate of Virginia Beach City Public Schools, Kempsville High School. Go Chiefs. So it's a pleasure to be here with you and share with you today. For our secondary students, Virginia Beach Parks and Recreation offers a variety of programs. We focus on leadership development, career readiness, and enrichment. A signature program that we offer is the Summer Youth Employment Program. This is an 8-week paid experience for students ages 16 to 21 that provides real-world work experience, financial literacy education, as well as workplace readiness training. Additional opportunities include summer programs and summer camps for middle school students, therapeutic recreation programs, hands-on learning experiences, such as the Bayside High School Passion Projects, creative engagement through the Williams Farm Team Media Studio, and leadership development through the Mayor's Youth Leaders in Action program. Together, these programs offer students the opportunity to build skills, explore interests, and prepare for a successful future. Our 7 recreation centers are open and remain open for our secondary students with gymnasiums, weight rooms for those who are 14 and up, game rooms, swimming pools that are open year-round. The membership for our recreation centers for youth is just $40 a year, and that gives them access to all 7 recreation centers. Currently, preschool and pre-K programs are offered at 4 Virginia Beach recreation centers. Beginning in the 2026-2027 school year, early childhood subsidies will be accepted at various early childhood programs throughout the city. This change is intended to expand access for families, provide greater accessibility in choosing program locations, and better support participation in access to early childhood education. Our inclusion services provide individuals with disabilities and make sure that those individuals have access to all Parks and Recreation programs. Virginia Beach Parks and Recreation provides appropriate modifications and also supports as needed so that individuals can participate fully in all of our programs right alongside their peers. This commitment reflects our goal of creating inclusive, welcoming environments where everyone has the opportunity to participate and to succeed. Virginia Beach Parks and Recreation offers volunteer opportunities that we provide for middle and high school students with meaningful ways that they can complete their community service requirements. Financial assistance programs sponsored by the Virginia Beach Parks and Recreation Foundation are available to ensure that participants have access to our programs and services regardless of income. This allows us to maintain equitable programming areas within Virginia Beach Parks and Recreation. And our Parks After Dark program provides safe, supervised nighttime programming for youth from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., Thursday through Saturday, June through August, at 3 locations, including Level Green, Green Run, and Western Bayside. In partnership with the Virginia Beach Police Department, we provide free meals for the first 400 participants at each location, mentorship, recreation, and positive community engagement opportunities. All of these support safety, well-being, and positive decision-making for young people. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce Amelia Scott, Seth Foster, and Jamie Childress with the YMCA of Southampton Roads. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Amelia Scott, and I'm the WISE Chief Experience Officer. The YMCA of Southampton Roads is committed to youth development, healthy living, and social responsibility. These values guide every program and partnership we pursue. We are proud to collaborate with VBCPS in supporting students, staff, and families throughout Virginia Beach.
Good afternoon. I'm Jamie Childress. I'm the Vice President of Youth Development for the YMCA at Southampton Roads. Our 63 elementary programs provide year-round services for families. Preschool childcare serves ages 2 to 5 using the Stream of 3 curriculum aligned with Virginia quality standards, with a focus on hands-on learning, character development, and kindergarten readiness. This is structured, intentional early childhood education. Our new early childhood program will expand access to 3 state licensed centers. Virginia Beach City Public School staff will receive access to priority registration, 50% off the enrollment fee, and the Y member rate on tuition, a concrete benefit that reflects how much the division values its people. Before and after school care provides homework help, physical activity, and enrichment activities. And our summer day camps run at 20 locations for children ages 4 to 12, with weekly themes covering outdoor play, art, science, and swimming. In Camp Silver Beach, our resident camp on the Eastern Shore, offers students ages 8 to 16 sailing, climbing, swimming, sports, and performing arts in a safe outdoor setting. For many, it's a week and a summer they will never forget.
Good afternoon. My name is Seth Foster, Association Director of Youth Development and a proud graduate of Virginia Beach City Public Schools, attending Fairfield Elementary, Brandon Middle, and Tallwood High School, where the lovely Mrs. Woodhouse was my principal. The YMCA offers 4 programs designed to keep middle and high school students engaged and connected. Leaders Club builds character, civic responsibility, and community engagement through guiding activities, service projects, developing the next generation of community leaders. Summer team membership provides access to the YMCA facilities, fitness programs, and recreational activities throughout the summer, giving teens a safe, structured space when school is not in session. Teen Pass extends that access year-round at $10 a month to students or families ages 13 through 17, made possible by community donors. Access to the Y should not be limited by income. New this year, the Block Community Cafe is a welcoming space led and operated by teens, empowering them to connect with peers, access mentoring, and drive youth-centered programming. It has already made a meaningful impression in our community. Our entrepreneurship program is a direct investment in the future workforce of the community, currently active at Locksburg Middle and Kempsville Middle Schools. Using proven curriculum with trained learning coaches, the program develops the top skills the World Economic Forum identifies as the most sought by employers today: critical thinking, creativity, and leadership. Students build these skills through fun and interactive experiences that foster resilience, flexibility, and an entrepreneurship mindset. These experiences are designed to be engaging, practical, and aligned with the skills students need as they prepare for the future. The program is academically aligned, career ready, and a strong fit within the VBCPS mission.
We were honored to receive funding to build an infrastructure that expands child care services in partnership with VBCPS for Title I school staff. And in our region, only 30% of children ages 0 to 5 have access to full-day child care services. This partnership allowed us to spend time reviewing the needs of teachers and staff, discuss and research every option to create learning seats, and decide on a pathway that creates a truly sustainable early learning service across the city of Virginia Beach. We knew that building new early learning centers would take time, so once we learned of the funding, we quickly coordinated to offer VBCPS Title I faculty and staff seats and exclusive tuition rates at the Y's existing preschool sites, and with locations in Virginia Beach and Portsmouth for the current 2025-2026 school year. Our collaboration with staff to meet the critical community need is a model approach, and we are proud to continue our work into the future. Title I school employees currently receive 10% off of the member rate for preschool childcare serving ages 3 and 4 at the Salem YMCA Family Center and the YMCA of Portsmouth using the Stream and 3 curriculum. The new early childcare program expands that benefit to all VBCPS employees. The package includes priority registration 2 weeks ahead of the public, 50% off of the enrollment fee, and the Y member rate on tuition. To put it into concrete terms, the community rate is $250 a week, the Y member rate is $195, and Title I employees can pay $175.50 per week. Those are real savings for working families. For those needing additional support, the YMCA's Open Doors Financial Assistance Program can offer an additional 40% off based on demonstrated financial need. No family should have to be turned away from quality childcare because of cost.
The clip we are about to see brings to life the strategic partnerships we've discussed with you today. Specifically, you'll see the YMCA's before and after school programs in action alongside Virginia Beach Parks and Recreation's Parks After Dark program. Through program collaborations, we extend our reach far beyond the classroom. These moments reflect the joy, safety, and engagement made possible through our shared commitment. In summary, this partnership unites VBCPS, Virginia Beach Parks and Recreation, and the YMCA to support students, staff, and families across Virginia Beach. Together, we provide academic enrichment beyond the school day, affordable childcare for staff, and reliable year-round coverage during breaks, staff development days, summer months, and weather-related closures. We are grateful for our partners' continued support in helping make Virginia Beach City Public Schools a place where students, families, and staff can truly thrive. Thank you for your time this afternoon. We are happy to address any questions that you may have.
Thank you so much to all our presenters. It's so helpful for us and the community to be reminded about how many services you provide and all the options and what a vital partnership this is. So we really do appreciate that. All right, we have some questions. Mr. Cummings.
I just had a couple questions just about the early childhood care program for VBCPS staff, and just wanted to hear a little bit about the rollout and communication to eligible employees, how they're receiving information about it, and maybe just learn a little bit more.
Sure. So the 2025-2026, we met with all of the principals prior to the school year starting and shared an informational flyer. It's open enrollment revolving, so anytime we know that a lot of people make their care plans early and in advance, and so we are available for that anytime someone would like to start care. But that was how we initially introduced it, and then the new care options. We currently have several things with filed with the city so that we can get those started. So as soon as we get an initial approval, then we would be free and clear to start promoting those widely so that we can get enrollment there and really demonstrate that benefit.
What's it look like on the school side for those employees? Do they receive digital communication from us about services or?
We communicate through various means. One way is we share information through our principal league meetings for individual schools to include the information in their newsletters. I know that our Department of School Leadership executive team, they also share out the information as well as offerings. And then any of the programs that are highlighted at specific schools, we publish that information to them directly.
Okay, that's great. What an exciting presentation too, by the way, y'all. Like, I appreciate the work that you do with our young people so much. I have one quick question about the entrepreneurship program. What is the target ages, grades for that program?
So the grades would be 6th grade through 12th grade.
Okay.
Right now, we're focusing on the middle school age group. As we know, when we get that age group right, and that's the feeder to the high school. And so we're focused on that age group. But the offering is for 6th grade through 12th grade.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, I just wanted to pivot to just making general comments and just say thank you so much to our partners for the great work that you do with our young people. You know, when I think about healthy communities and thriving communities, it really does take a village, right? And it takes before school, after school, during school, to ensure that our youth and young people are safe, but also becoming eager learners. And so I applaud the work of the YMCA. Both my kids are products of after-school programs there. Many eons ago, I woke up at about 6 something in the morning and helped and was a volunteer at the breakfast programs at a local YMCA. And it really was a fantastic experience working with that community. And so I applaud the efforts that you folks do. And to our Parks and Rec people, I know how close the Parks After Dark is held by our community and our district, and how prideful people are to have this in their community, to have these opportunities. So I send you much appreciation for the work that you are doing as well. And I do have to give a quick shout out to Kempsville Recreation Center. I was there just recently over the weekend, and they had a very informative display about Autism Awareness Month. And I just took a few moments, read through it, and I really appreciated them taking some proactive time to educate the folks coming in about this issue. And I see the work that our Parks and Recs folks are doing to build inclusive community. And thank you so much for everything that you do.
Ms. Rogers?
Thank you so much. I had a question on slide 12 with early childhood, so you guys, okay. For your 3 new sites, are those going to be, can you tell us where those are going to be?
The way that we are organizing it is to look at the entire city and make sure that every zone is covered. We do have an application submitted for a permit in the Indian River neighborhood in partnership with a local church, which is wonderful, adding another partner to the table. We are looking at one of our other sites and have some additional forms submitted to increase our certificate of occupancy to use one of our own YMCA locations closer to the oceanfront area. And then we are also looking to expand in the Salem area to add additional classrooms so that we can get lower than age 3 and get into that 0 to 3 space.
Okay, and just so you're aware, I am an early childhood educator. I actually conduct observations, and I have been into the YMCA's to do class observations in your pre-K classrooms. You guys always do an excellent job, so I want to comment and commend you on the work that you do with our early childhood youth within our city. I'm really glad to hear that you guys are expanding to include some of our earliest learners, and how important that is for our community. And also that knowing the quality that you guys provide, Virginia, as a state, for the public, they have a program called Virginia Quality Birth to 5, which is what I work on, and that is to promote high quality learning for our earliest children in our community. And so to hear that you guys are doing that, but I also want to tell you how much I appreciate giving priority to our staff. I know that childcare is such a huge issue for a lot of families in our area, and having these programs where we can offer this to our staff and that they're not going to have to worry about getting a spot or jockeying for position because you guys will give them priority is so appreciated, and that they know that their children will be in a quality program that is safe. Also, we do offer preschool at our own schools, but it is a Title I program, so yours then would be something that would be accessible to all of our staff, correct?
That's right.
So I just want to say thank you so much, as well as thank all of you for our secondary programs and for our after school. My own kids would go to after school as well, and so I just know how much quality you guys put into these programs, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
And I just have one quick question too. With the secondary programs, how do our middle schoolers and high schoolers find out like about the Entrepreneur, the Teen Media Studio over there at Williams Farm, which is fantastic, and the volunteer hours? How do the students actually find out about them?
We conduct lunch and learn opportunities at each school. So we work with the principals and schedule time in the schools where we do applications with the students because they actually become City of Virginia Beach employees. And so that application process can be kind of daunting. So we go into the school, we work with them, and then we do the application with them. And so we go into each high school in Virginia Beach.
Okay, great, thank you. And of course, the Learn to Swim program that our second graders do, that's been here a long time, and it is just a great program. Dr. Robertson.
Yeah, so thank you, Vice Chair Reams. I just want to take a moment to thank Harry and Tiffany with Parks and Recs, Jamie, Seth, and Amelia with YMCA. Mr. Cummings took a comment I was going to make, and he's correct. It takes a village to raise a child. I just returned from the State Superintendent Conference, and there were 3 vendors at the conference that developed the programs that we don't have to pay for because we have willing partners in both Parks and Rec and YMCA to provide these opportunities for our children. And what I appreciate most about these 2 entities is they don't compete with each other. They compete for excellence for our entire city, which is a unique thing that occurs within the 2 groups. So I have to applaud them because it's only making it more beneficial to us. And Mr. Cummings and Ms. Rogers asked good questions. How do we get this information out? I just want to remind everyone, we're still in the infancy stage. I would say we're crawling right now. It was 3 years ago when I took a learning walk with a delegate and a member of Parks and Rec, and we talked about retention of Title I staff, and as an incentive, we would find a way to get them childcare. And then from there, all of a sudden, things have accelerated to what is occurring right now. So we'll continue to put the word out to everyone. We learned a lot of lessons from families and staff when we offered these child care options. Those of you, if you recall, when you had to find child care, you wanted to find child care close to your home or on the way to your work. And there were not enough locations to meet everybody's need across the city. Well, now we're looking to expand locations so we can serve more families. So I'm excited about where we're going, and there is no way we would be there without the leadership of that group because they are extraordinary. So thank you.
Ms. Felton?
Thank you, Vice Chair. This question is going to Park and Recs, and I just talked with Mr. Young a minute. I had technical difficulties. I thought I was punched in to ask your questions, but it came through. Before I was a school board member, I was a Park and Rec commissioner for a while, and I really enjoyed my stay while I was there as well. What I would like to say to you and Miss Tiffany that I am godly proud that you're continuing the path of the program that we had while I was on the board, and like you extended them a lot. I'm more interested in the RISE Summer Enhancement Program. When I first attended one of those, I was blown away at what you were doing, how much you was putting into those programs for the students. And here you say you're only serving Title I students at that time, and we have 12 Title I schools, correct?
I believe it's 14.
14, okay, 14. Need to update our website then. I want to count at 12. So anyway, with that said, I am proud that you're doing it as well, but are there any future engagement, because when you said financial needs and what parents need, are there future engagement reaching beyond Title I? Are we looking at that as well, bringing in the students?
Well, for the summer, students all across the division who meet those financial requirements are able to enroll. So it doesn't, in the summer, we don't just serve Title I students.
Okay, great. Thank you. Also, student on the swim. Thank you for the information. You said you're serving 1,400
Yes.
students.
Second
Oh, we've
graders.
come a long way. My
Yes.
goodness. I'd just like to say that Vice Mayor Mary Wilson implemented that program. And are we still getting those backing from Virginia Foundation? Are they still working with you? Is that the foundation that was buying the?
Virginia Beach Parks and Recreation Foundation, yes.
Yes, that was giving the students the life jackets and all the other amenities that they needed.
I believe so. I'll have to double check on that, though.
Thank you. At one time, you were doing that as well. I'm glad that it's still in place. And I'm going in a minute because I wanted to say something to you and Ms. Caldwell and Ms. Scott about these programs. And I heard what Superintendent Don Robertson said. But still, we're missing some of our babies in these phenomenal programs. And I want more information, engagement. Are you susceptible coming to communities, to community programs like we have every summer? We have 2 big ones that take place right in the heart of SeaTac. So are you at liberty to come to those? Can you come to those as well?
Absolutely.
Okay,
We'll be well represented if invited.
Okay, right. So that's what it's all about, being invited. Okay, you got me. I got you on that. You're invited. So thank you. So Ms. Caldwell, a couple of questions to you as well. Thank you for your presentation. All of you were great. And I'm just excited, especially the programs that you still have and they're still going, especially the Mayor's Youth Leaders in Action. I used to come there and watch the students, how they act and how they became peers for the undergraduates and teaching them. They were also good at when the students went on field trips, they were there participating in it as well. My question to you is the summer youth education employment opportunity, is that still handled through the talent bank?
No.
No.
That's part of the Youth Opportunities Office. So the Summer Youth Employment Program, we accept the applications. This summer, we had 617 applicants from Virginia Beach schools who want a job with the city. And so we accept those applications. We also partner with various city departments to find placement. We are running at around 18 different departments where students can be placed, and we place them based on their areas of interest, their potential career path, and also based on accessibility for transportation. And so we have a team, a small team, but a team that works to interview every student, place every student who completes the application process. We also work with private companies who we will, vet, and then we send students to those companies, again, because we want to be able to expand the offerings so that we can try to hit every potential job that students want.
So my question to you, Ms. Caldwell, and I hope you can answer it the way I'm saying. I hope you understand how I'm saying this. It's an 8 weeks program as well, right?
Yes.
So do our job need outseed the volunteer work jobs that we can give our students? We have more applicants than we have jobs.
We have more applicants than we have jobs.
So are we still vetting, trying to get that turned around?
So what we typically do, the applicants, we work with our applicants to finish the application process. So once they apply, they have to also submit 2 letters of recommendation, like from a teacher, a counselor, a neighbor, and then they have to provide proof of residency, usually through their report card as a Virginia Beach.
I know this is a great program. I know some of the students that went through the program and they did really well, and they did get hired permanent through the city after seeing the works that they do. So, I would tell you this is a good place to do a op-ed to tell them that we need more participant to jobs to open up to our students, because that is a problem. If you had over 600 students to apply, I know all of them could not get a job. So
yes, so we're actively now seeking to find additional partners. The city budget allows us to hire a certain number, and then we look for private partners who hire the additional number. But we are also working with our students to actually finish the application process, because they will apply, but they don't necessarily turn in a recommendation or They might not sign up for an interview. So it's a whole process that we're trying to work them through so that they can not just apply, but actually make it through the entire process.
Right.
If they make it through the entire process, we will find them a job. So we don't have kids who go through the whole process and then we say, well, I'm sorry, but we don't have a position for you. We will find them a job either with the city or with a private company.
Great, that sounds wonderful. I like that as well because they're learning skills, how to apply and how to do resumes and how to apply themselves as for equal opportunity employment. But I do hope that we can get to a place where you have to shut your doors to people that are coming in and say we're offering jobs to our students so you can push them back. Thank you. That is great. Parks After Dark. Thank you. I want to say thank you for celebrating our communities and doing that. I've gone to several of those and been really good. And you guys will go when it's raining. After a rainstorm, you're still out there doing those works. Yes. And I have visited plenty of those. And thank you for continuing the works that you're doing. You have not pulled back. You're still doing it. You're adding. Thank you, Park and Recreation. I appreciate it. Yeah. One more question, Chair, for YMCA. Ms. Scott asked a quick question. Thank you, too, for what you're doing. This is great work, especially for the community and our students. Other than you're going through the schools, do you also come out to communities if you're invited?
Yes, you got it. If we're invited, we do everything we can to be there.
I'm inviting you. I have two big ones I want you to come to. I'm inviting you, and
Wonderful.
I will be calling you. If you need my email, it's sharon.felton@vbschools.com. Email me and say when you're going to come. I want to stay in contact with you. I've already given it out to Mr. Young as well. I'd like to ask you, too, you talked about the entrepreneurship program that you have. Awesome. So do you collaborate with Kinsville, or do you have any interaction with Kinsville Entrepreneur Business Academy at all?
Seth is he said he graduated from Kempsville, but he also graduated from Leaders Club and YMCA teen programs, and he leads them for the association. Right. So I'm going to let him answer that.
Okay.
Thanks, Bailey. We are in works of doing that. So we know that Kinsville High School has Entrepreneurship Academy. And so we've actually been talking about the next steps to expand that offering to them as well. I know we talked about it. It was 9th and 10th grade, trying to get them rocking and rolling with that so that they can continue that with the academy. So, yes.
Thank you so much. If you have an opportunity, I'm going to invite you as well, get an opportunity to come to the Entrepreneur Shark Tank presentation. Awesome.
Absolutely.
It is awesome. I would invite you to come to that as well and see exactly what our students are doing, and maybe we could collaborate with our entrepreneurship. I just want to say to all of you, your presentation was awesome. I do appreciate it, and especially when you say that you're trying to reach out to the community, I'm going to help you do that as well. I want to make sure you get there and make sure you meet these other individuals. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you.
All right, I don't see anybody else. Madam Clerk, we're okay? All right, thank you, Ms. Church, and everybody else who presented. Appreciate it. All right, next we will welcome the Director of Instructional Technology, Dr. Goldberg, for the AI update.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Chairwoman Brown, Vice Chair Weems, Dr. Robertson, and school board members. My name is Ryan Goldberg, and I serve as our Division's Director of Instructional Technology for the Department of Teaching and Learning. Joining me this afternoon are also my Instructional Technology coordinators. I will provide our second update on our journey with artificial intelligence, which I will refer to as AI, for the second half of the school year. We will begin with an overview of our AI integration, covering professional learning timelines and current implementation. We will walk through usage data, share stakeholder input, and close with next steps. This slide has been shared before, but it is our professional learning statement. I will pause to give you a moment to review. For the 2025-2026 school year, VBCPS advocates for the selective and intentional use of AI, prioritizing its integration only when it clearly enhances learning and supports academic standards. Our focus remains on sound instruction, ensuring that technology serves to spark creative thinking rather than reduce critical thinking opportunities essential for student mastery. Our decision-making is guided by the White House Executive Order and guidelines from the Governor for AI integration. On November 25th, the school board was provided the first AI update, which included this progress timeline. As a reminder, all staff completed a series of professional development sessions focused on AI literacy, safety, and ethical implementation throughout the school year. High school students were introduced to technology responsibilities and granted access to Google Gemini, our approved generative AI tool, starting November 5th. Throughout the winter and into the spring, we have continued with a purposeful integration of AI, as you can see from this implementation timeline on the side. We have created a professional learning partnership with AJ Giuliani, a leading voice in the field of AI and student engagement. Mr. Giuliani's work focuses on assisting districts with AI fluency, where students and staff don't just know about the tools, but instead use them intentionally to enhance high-level critical thinking and creative problem solving. We have also completed the third professional learning turnkey for each level, analyzed stakeholder engagement, including teachers and parents, and partnered with several Department of Teaching and Learning teams to analyze AI integration across all content areas. Finally, we have analyzed staff feedback for high school and are providing optional ongoing training for high school teachers. This slide is going to highlight some of the work that we've done. I'll take a moment to explain each picture. Image 1 highlights our collaboration with our AI consultant, Mr. Giuliani. In Image 2, high school teachers are reinforcing clear expectations for students by using the AI usage levels framework to guide responsible use and to clarify expectations. Image 3 reflects our ongoing commitment to community engagement as we share VBCPS AI overview presentations at PTA meetings to build parent understanding and transparency. Image 4 shows one of our turnkey trainings designed to build AI literacy for all instructional staff. This particular image shows an activity including a scenario that prompts ethical decision-making when using AI. In Image 5, Department of Teaching and Learning teams are providing targeted professional learning, highlighting here through an AI demo slam where gifted resource teachers showcase best practices for teacher efficiency and classroom integration at the high school level. Finally, Image 6 captures our teacher assembly on March 26th, where representatives from every school came together to engage in meaningful dialogue and provide feedback around our AI implementation plan. We have continued with our professional learning for AI across all levels. In high school, students began engaging with Gemini on November 5th, and all staff participated in their third professional learning session. This session focused on effective prompting, prompt templates, and providing our teachers with time to complete an immersive design experience with an upcoming standard at their own content level. For elementary and middle school, we have completed both the professional learnings number 2 and number 3 with a focus on effective prompting, ethical considerations with scenario-based learning, and training on Notebook LM and Gemini Gems Storybook. These are both tools that will support teachers in efficiency and uplifting our Tier 1 instruction at the elementary and middle school level. Just a reminder, a turnkey presentation is a professional learning session that we designed in Department of Teaching and Learning and then provided to our instructional technology specialists and library media specialists to ensure our presentation is delivered without change and provides a consistent message throughout that delivery at school levels. Now I'll share some information with you on next steps. We are partnering at the state level in AI Part 2 into the classroom with Virginia Association of School Superintendents. This gives us the opportunity to collaborate and reflect on AI implementation across different districts. Based on feedback from high school teachers, we have created Sailing into AI, an optional professional learning series for high school teachers. These sessions will be offered in a variety of different formats, with teachers having the opportunity to dive deeper into Notebook LM and using AI as a tool to support their own efficiency. Notebook LM is a secure Google workspace for Education service that provides high schoolers with cited information strictly from teacher-approved materials. It ensures enterprise-grade privacy by never using student data for AI training or human review. Students can safely use the tool to generate personalized study guides, quizzes, and audio summaries for upcoming finals and AP exams. High school students will have access to this to prepare for the end of semester, not first semester, let's not go back, first semester assessments and AP exams. We are also excited to share that Securely, which is our student safety and device management platform, has released a chat monitoring feature in the spring that allows teachers and administrators to have viewing access to all student prompts and AI responses. In continuing with our purposeful and slow implementation plan, we plan to train administrators and teachers and then release this feature for the 2026-2027 school year. We will now transition into analyzing our current AI usage trends for both teachers and students. The slide on the screen compares instructional staff data from the 2024-2025 school year to our current data from the 2025-2026 school year through March 24th. Notably, you're going to see a significant increase in our staff engagement with Google Gemini. Google Gemini remains our preferred and supported instructional tool. I will pause for a moment to allow you to review these growth metrics. Our instructional staff and administrators are using a variety of approved tools to support effective AI integration. The applications on the screen are a few of our most highly accessed tools. You will also find a handout in your packet that provides more details on the applications widely used across our division. You will notice on the screen that there are several tools approved for using AI to provide feedback. We emphasize that the responsibility for evaluating student progress rests solely with the teacher. The use of AI-generated grades is strictly prohibited. When a school chooses to utilize approved AI tools for feedback, the Department of Teaching and Learning, in collaboration with the Department of School Leadership, requires teachers to follow specific guidance to ensure academic integrity and instructional quality. Educators must carefully evaluate these tools to guarantee that all feedback is accurate, actionable, and aligned with established standards. Furthermore, teachers are required to review and verify AI-generated comments before sharing them with students. This slide shows high school student usage of Gemini from January 28th through March 24th. This is going to include 39 school days. You will note that 69% of our high school students have engaged in some form of usage with Google Gemini, with approximately 46% being light users, 21% being regular users, and 2% being power users. I will give you a moment to review the slide. We have gathered feedback from various sources, including professional learning session exit tickets and a recent teacher assembly. Instructional staff identified several key drivers in their ability to leverage AI for productivity and instructional design. Notably, teachers highly value the collaborative support provided by instructional technology specialists, library media specialists, and their own peer colleagues. Additionally, staff cited the scaffolded training, specifically sessions focused on effective prompting and peer-to-peer sharing, as essential to their growth. By streamlining tasks such as drafting report card comments and aligning standards, AI is enabling teachers to work smarter. While these successes provide a strong foundation, we are identifying key areas where we can additionally support and further streamline AI integration across the district. Currently, the primary focus is navigating the expanding landscape of new platforms as staff aim to move past the initial resource overload towards identifying which tools are best towards specific tasks. To facilitate this, providing dedicated professional windows for exploration will be essential, as time still remains a barrier for our teachers in a successful adoption. In particular, you'll note we have high school feedback at the bottom. High school teachers have shared some specific feedback regarding the integration of AI into student learning experiences. They shared the importance of ensuring that AI serves to enrich rather than diminish the educational experience, prioritizing the instructional designs that value the process over the product, and fostering critical thinking and the defense of one's reasoning through reflection and productive struggle. Teachers at the high school level are continuing to focus on that the process over the product. Building an AI-ready district requires a partnership with our families. This year, we attended 15 PTA meetings to further explain AI in our school division and showcase our VBCPS digital literacy site. We broke down the specific usage expectations and guardrails for each grade level, turning these sessions into a two-way conversation. This outreach allowed us to answer critical questions and gather high-level community feedback needed to shape a responsible, innovative future for our students. Community members expressed appreciation for the opportunity to provide input and requested a clear roadmap for future AI integration. To maintain the momentum, they emphasized the need for consistent, ongoing communication across multiple channels. This slide provides a brief overview of our next steps for the continued implementation of AI for the 2026-2027 school year. For all levels, we recommend the selection of an instructional platform that will allow levels to have different access. In our elementary schools, our strategy remains consistent. We are prioritizing teacher efficiency and capacity. AI will continue to be a behind-the-scenes tool for lesson planning and differentiation for our teachers. Students at this level will not engage in generative AI models. However, in middle school, we will make a shift in implementation. We are moving from a teacher-only use to introducing students to the selected instructional platform. Instead of providing them access to Gemini, we plan to select an instructional platform that has a walled garden. This means that students aren't just playing with AI, they are using a specific teacher-vetted tool in a secured environment. We will introduce middle school teachers and students to similar guardrails and provide essential training. Finally, at the high school level, we will continue with our current plan and our current existing guardrails. We will continue to reinforce ethical standards and purposeful technology integration. Thank you for allowing us to join you this afternoon for an update in our journey with AI. We thank you for your attention and we are ready for any questions you have at this time.
Thank you, Dr. Goldberg. Okay, Ms. Rogers.
Hi, thank you so much for this presentation. I fully admit that I am very cautious when it comes to AI in our classrooms, and so I've got questions. I'm really glad to hear that you guys discussed with the community about your specific guardrails for each level. When I asked about guardrails, I didn't get a really clear picture of that when we first discussed this. So can you discuss the guardrails for each level now? Because that is something I'm highly interested in.
Sure. Guardrails for students?
Yes.
Yes, so elementary and middle school currently do not have access to a generative AI model. At high school, our students are accessing Gemini, and they also have access to a couple of other approved tools. You saw like the approved list of tools through our approved applications. So if an application needs to be approved, they would go through our approval process, which is a very strenuous process. It goes through Department of Technology and Department of Teaching and Learning. In particular for Gemini, we have taken a very, very strict approach to our guardrails. So our high school students only have access during the instructional day. When they're at home and they have access to our approved devices, they will not have access to Gemini. Those pieces are turned off. Other approved generative AI, other generative large language models such as ChatGPT, et cetera, are not approved on our devices. So they would not have access to those. We also have, if you remember, at my first session, November 25th, I shared with you guys the kind of the stoplight image where it's level 0, level 1, and level 2. So whenever a teacher is providing a student access to an activity or an assignment, they would note whether that assignment, what level it is. We've actually in our trainings had them put like an image as an example of what level 0, level 1, level 2, and they share those with the students. The students are aware of what the teacher's expectations are. So if level 0 as an example would be no AI allowed whatsoever. Level 1 is a step-by-step where they have a little bit more access, still teacher guided, and level 2 is also teacher guided, but they have a little bit more time to work through the process.
Thank you. I appreciate
Yes.
that. My other concern is from slide 11. You have on slide 11 your light users, your regular users, and your power users. But my concern is that 2% of power users. I am highly concerned that we are giving access to middle schoolers who have less impulse control and that we will have a lot of power users. It would be my preference to allow us to have further guardrails so we don't have power users. If students are using these AI platforms to have more than 1,000 prompts per 39 school days in a month, are we using it as a tool or are we using it as a toy? And so that's my concern. And if we are going to then take that, we have 2% at the high school level, are we going to increase with students who don't have that ability to control their impulses? And so instead of, I think, powering through into middle school, should we not refine what we're doing at the high school first? That is my question. And I don't know if that's something, I don't expect an answer, but I'm just saying is that 2% of users can be those students who we are already struggling to get them to stay on task, to do their work. And then we're giving them a tool that's allowing them to, oh, hey, we got all of these prompts we can use. And there's no guardrails as to the amount of usage. Does that make sense? And so that's a concern for me. But if our high schoolers are already having a 2% of misusage, what will it be at the middle school level? So that's my concern.
So I think I have some answers for you.
Okay.
Kind of twofold. Let's talk about high school first. So your high school, your power users that are that 2%, we have analyzed some of the data, and I want to note you to where it says the average prompts. It's including reprompts. So for those of you who have access like ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever large language model you're choosing to use, and you're asking questions, that's going to include however many times that you're reprompting. When we actually have analyzed some of these students, because we have the ability through Google Vault just to see if there's any concerns, right? So with Mr. Den's team and my team, if there is a student who is doing a absurdly large number of prompts, we do have the accessibility to see what they're prompting to make sure they're on task, right? And actually, when we have analyzed it, students are just reprompting many, many times to get to the correct what they need for the assignment. And so we were actually pleasantly surprised by the reprompting and how savvy the students are when they're working towards the assignment. So that's the piece about the high school piece. What I want to draw your attention to is for the middle school. Middle school will not have access to Gemini. So we are thinking about recommending some form of an instructional platform, and there's many out there, okay? There's Magic School, there's School AI, there's Brisk, and those, like I mentioned, are more of a walled garden where what will happen is there is a teacher platform. They can view everything the student is doing, and as the student is prompting and responding, they can see that. The programs that we've demoed also have the capability of turning, as an example, red to alert a teacher on their dashboard, similar to like a Securely, when a student is not doing the appropriate thing. So it's much more secure and much different than Gemini and the access, if that makes sense.
That does make sense. Okay, and then the other thing I want to talk about, my concern is, I've spoken to a lot of high schoolers because I have a high schooler, and a lot of students are concerned about the environmental usage. When we have students who are using AI, obviously that requires resources, and they are concerned about this, and that they, even students themselves, are saying, I don't want to use too much AI because I am concerned about the environmental piece. How are we addressing that?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. And that's actually something we talked to Mr. Giuliani a lot about too, because that's something that nationwide people are having questions about. One of the things that we talk to students about is we don't make them use it if they don't want to. We ask them that they work with their administrator and they work with their principal or their teacher to work out what's best for that student. We do keep in mind that if you are having an assignment that uses AI, it could take you much longer to do that task if you were to do it without AI per se. But we do also have conversations, and we're training and talking to our teachers about if a student doesn't want to use AI as an example in the instructional lens, they're also using it every day in their other lives too. So we try to have those conversations like, are you using it on Netflix, Amazon Prime, and Google when you're using to get from place to place? So just explaining those pieces as well to educate everyone.
All right, Dr. Green.
Thank you. Dr. Goldberg, I'm glad to see that we have integrated securely into the use of AI, and I hope our community recognizes the value of that and in other capacities. I know when I was employed with the school division, how in some instances it even saved lives. Get that midnight call about someone with securely. And I understand if you cannot answer, because I'm not trying to expose any security secrets or practices we may have. How often will alerts be generated? Like, is it every time someone, staff or student uses AI? Or I know with some of the mental health pieces that we follow that there are some triggers. So are you able, or Mr. Den looks like he's going to answer. He's approaching the podium.
Good afternoon, everybody. So the trigger is that point at which the human review on it says that there is risk of imminent action, right?
Okay.
So when it reaches that point is when our folks, the mental health folks that we work with, they'll get involved in that particular situation.
So outside of the mental health realm, are there other triggers or other topics or areas that may trigger an alert from Securely?
Self-harm, mental health, those are broadly
Right.
the areas that there's obviously a lot of things that are
Inappropriate
in there.
topics, things
Yes.
like that would, okay.
Yeah.
All right. How often will the reports be generated with usage in terms of what may be considered risky behaviors?
So I'm not sure what you mean by reports are generated.
Well, when the alerts with Securely, the reports sometimes that are generated.
How often would they be
Yes.
generated? Well, I don't have numbers right off the top of my head for you.
But every time something happens.
Every single time
okay.
something happens, yes, actions are taken.
Right. All right. Thank you.
Sure.
And I think, Dr. Green, just to note that that is a very new feature that has just been released, right? So that's why we're recommending to share that at next school year and not immediately start with it right now, because we need to do our research and train our teachers effectively on it, since it is a new component of Securely. And our high school teachers they use Securely a lot.
Right.
You can see it in their classrooms. They have it up and they're monitoring Securely. Same with elementary, right? Across all levels, teachers are using Securely, but we want to make sure that we're providing adequate training to make sure they're monitoring the Gemini prompts effectively.
Thank you.
Yes.
Mr. Callen.
I can only ask my question from a generational point of view. So from a generational point of view, I have a mindset that basically says if you are younger than me, you are more advanced technologically than I ever will be. Using that as a reference point, since all of our students are younger than us as teachers or administrators, have you discovered difficulties for their greater degree of advancement technologically than even the school system is presenting from an instructional point of view? Are there difficulties and discoveries that in some respects you didn't even see coming, because this AI world is still so incredibly new and fast moving? What difficulties has the process of introducing this to the school system and the instructional process, what difficulties have you encountered that you might not have seen coming?
It's a great question, and I agree. Our students are very savvy. The They know things more than some of us even do now, right? I think, one of the big topics of conversation around AI that you see in the news is cheating. One of the things that we talk a lot about with our ITSs and our LMSs and our teachers when we have those meetings is that, cheating existed before AI came around, and it's going to exist moving forward. But having conversations about how we're being proactive and how we're teaching our students the ethics around AI is the most important piece. So that's what we're working on now. In regards to the other part of your question, talking about difficulties, our team looking at the applications that our staff division-wide are using and trying to stay on top of that is very difficult. So the ever rapid changing landscape of AI is so quickly evolving that it is difficult for us to stay on top of what applications people are using and approving them or not approving them because of how quickly it's coming. I was just at an ITS meeting yesterday and they asked me about 3 applications that I didn't even know what 2 of them were. And I try to stay on top of all of them. But that's how quickly things are coming up, and we have these experts in the field. So trying to stay on top of that has been a very large challenge.
Do you have enhanced trepidations about introducing this to the middle school students in November as you're planning to do so?
To be transparent, I feel very confident in our current rollout plan. I think our team has done a really nice job in our implementation and the slow features that we've taken. I feel confident in some of the demos that we've done with the instructional platforms. We're working through getting some stakeholder feedback now around those platforms and then making that selection. I do think in partnership with the rest of the Department of Teaching and Learning and having partnership with the rest of our directors in that and collaborating together will make it an effective rollout.
You'll be in my prayers.
If I can piggyback on Mr. Callan's question, it's interesting, Mr. Callan, because today in Roanoke, there was a session on AI in the classroom part 2. And one of the prompts was to the audience of superintendents, what are some of the difficulties that were unexpected that you were encountering in your journey so far? And they talked about the pace. They talked about that some kids were very hesitant to engage. Some kids were worried about the environmental factors that were already mentioned. Teachers are still getting their handle on it. So it is a very good question. And what I'm confident about when Dr. Goldberg says she's confident in the plan is the team has been really cautiously strategic in what they're doing. And because they're sharing with 90 other school divisions through this professional learning experience that they're in, they're benefiting from the best thinking from 90 different school divisions. And so I'm excited about that. But to your point, we are our what would you say? Our antennas are up to be careful that we don't take any missteps.
Vice Chair Weems, Miss Chair Brown has her hand up, and her hand went up after Mr. Cummings.
All right, thank you. Mr. Bowensteel?
Yes, I remember last July at our school board retreat, we spent a lot of time on the AI subject. I do support AI, but I also appreciate Ms. Rogers and her concerns and cautiousness to this. At this point, I really don't feel comfortable moving this into middle school. And mainly what I want to know is this going to be something that's going to be approved by the school board, or is this something that you have already decided on doing November 4th?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So our plan is being presented to you tonight, that this is our plan to move forward next year.
Okay.
We'll have another discussion during the retreat on AI for the last quarter of the year. And of course, the board will have an opportunity to weigh in. But this is the plan that we're recommending.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Cummings?
Yeah, first and foremost, I really appreciate the stakeholder feedback that you all were proactive in getting from parents and attending 15 PTA meetings. I don't know if this is not a mandate by any way, shape, or medium or form, but if there's any summary info things that we could read as a board, that'd be fantastic. If not, it's fine as well. I just would be curious to know the community was saying in a more in-depth fashion, and some of the concerns from our PTA parents who are so active and involved with our students on a day-to-day basis. And you said a few things that caught my ear, and so I'm trying to just seek clarification just for myself. So I have this list that was handed to us, the AI usage data, teacher admin applications. Are all of these vendors that we have contracts with, or are these tools that folks are using? I'm trying to understand the list I'm looking at right now.
No, yeah, great question. I took the slide of the most used applications and just gave you a summary of each of those descriptions, of each of those applications, excuse me. Some of them we do have a partnership with, some of them they're using the free version. So as an example, you see Gemini. Gemini comes with our Google Workspace for Educators that we pay for, and that's through that. All of those pieces are through Google. A lot of the other ones, Brisk, Canva, ChatGPT, most of them are ones that they're using the free versions, which is what I mentioned to Mr. Callen, is that there's many applications out there that there's free versions and teachers are using. These are all approved.
So I think and I know that we probably have policies in place, and I'm just trying to process and just get clarification, but I'm always weary of the free AI services and data protection. And how they utilize, the information uploaded for training. When we're in this evaluation process, do we have policy related to staff and utilization of some of these tools? Because I see some of them on here, and I know ChatGPT is one of those ones that doesn't have, if you're using the free version, it's not a closed off system. What do we have current policy from an employer perspective on? Or do we just follow the data protection guidelines that we probably have?
Yeah.
Walk me through that part aspect.
Good afternoon, Mr. Cummings.
Yeah.
So we do have security policies and the use of all of these various tools. So, for example, the guidance that Dr. Goldberg and her team would provide for a free tool is create a worksheet about the American flag, right? No student information, no private information of any kind goes into that free tool in order to be able to use it. However, for those instances where we may be providing a tool, any type of sensitive information, we want to make sure that that is only used with tools that we have DPAs or digital privacy agreements in place for.
Perfect.
So that's the general guidance that we provide to staff in using all of these variety of tools that keep showing up every week.
Yeah, I know.
So we just have to be careful, but that is the general guidance that's provided. Tools, when they are to a point that they're going to be used in our environment on a regular basis to support teachers, to support staff, they are vetted, and we do go ahead and we get a DPA, a digital privacy agreement, with those companies to make sure that any information that is put into those tools is more secure than free tools.
Yeah, perfect. I was just trying to make sure I understand the list I'm looking at, and when I see free tools, I'm just trying to gain clarity. And so I look at some of these programs, and I feel like might be helpful for me and perhaps my board members is just kind of being able to dive in a little bit to some of the programs that are here. I read something about DFIT that allows, and it's intriguing to me, tailored differential learning that creates multiple versions of assignments tailored to different learning needs and generating a range of activities like comprehension questions, vocabulary exercises. Help me just understand, what does this look like on boots on the ground in a classroom?
Yeah, and I think to Mr. Den's point, a lot of these applications are using for instructional purposes only. So it's tools that they're using to increase or leverage their tier 1 instruction. Okay, so as an example, if you take DFIT, which any of these tools can do the same thing with taking a leveled text, there may be a text provided on a certain Lexile level, let's just say at the elementary level, at a certain Lexile level that they want to analyze, and they want to, let's say you were providing it to 4th graders. Not all 4th graders are reading on the same reading level. Let's say you have an ESL student who's reading on a different level. You could put that information in. Again, no student identifiable data. You put that in with the text and ask it to provide it to you on whatever Lexile level of that said student, or you could even say of the WIDA level, which is the assessment that gives you the ESL level, and then it would provide you another leveled text, based on that student's level.
So how's the output of that evaluated to ensure that the output of the AI is actually accurate with providing the information? And I only ask this because, I work with AI every single day, and we have an internal joke with Copilot, how it constantly lies to you about how to do things in Microsoft, and how can its own product not know how to do something? And so that's always like kind of in the back of my mind. And I think that we probably, for those of us who use this, understand that like this is not an authoritative absolute type thing. So help me understand a little bit, just like, if this is being used in the classroom, the accuracy of output and whatnot. Because I see this as like guidance, right? Like, I think this is good in that aspect, but I'm just kind of curious to know a little more about that.
It's a great point, and it's what a lot of our professional learning has circled around is that exactly. So we have focused a lot with teachers around hallucinations, which is what you're talking about. Hallucinations, in case you're not familiar, is exactly what Mr. Cummings is saying, where your AI output has some sort of falsity or something not correct in it. We've emphasized with our teachers the need that if they're going to use an AI application to provide some form of something different, in this case, a leveled text, that they're responsible for vetting that resource that's provided. So they would need to read through it. I'll give you a prime example. In one of our turnkeys for elementary, we showed them one of our scenario-based that I mentioned in my presentation was we showed them an output that we had turned out based on it was a fourth grade standard, I believe, around social studies, and we asked for a map of Virginia. And it was a beautiful map that came up that teachers, if they didn't look at it carefully, would be like, oh, that's so beautiful, I'm going to put it in my presentation. But everything on the map of Virginia was incorrect. And that's the point where we're making, yes, that one was very exaggerated so we could show teachers, but that's the point that we've been trying to highlight in our presentations and in our trainings, that the teachers have to vet those materials that are provided in the outputs.
Okay, great. I think that's kind of summarizes all my immediate questions and thoughts. Personally, I think I would love to be able to, and this could be something to figure out later, just kind of have a more walkthrough of some of the programs that are, that I don't see on a day-to-day basis, like the Magic School. I tried to go on there and the website, but they want my email address, and that's not, I get enough spam. Let's be real. Don't need someone else to email me, but I think I'd appreciate a more in-depth, just like this is how it's being utilized. When I think about prompting and AI, at the heart of it is teaching our students to form deep questions to find answers, and that in itself is a great educational experience. Can you describe the context of the problem that you're trying to solve to maximize that output of AI? And for that subgroup of people who hone in on that skill, I think there's great rewards in the professional sector for that segment of people who understand and leverage and how to see and think through problem solving in depth and utilizing these tools. So I do definitely see value in the prompt engineering that's being, that we're teaching our students. And I applaud your efforts in working through with that. I think that's all that's on my mind right now, but I might come back and have a question.
That's fine. Okay, Chair Brown, you're next.
Thanks. So on slide 7, I think it was, you mentioned Notebook LM as a study partner. Can you tell me more what that looks like in practice?
Yes, so Notebook LM is a tool that our teachers have been trained on and they currently have access. So our students would be able to use it as an example. They could take a course study guide or they could take a material provided by their teacher and they could input that information into Notebook LM, and it has the capability to turn out whatever the students may want. They could turn out a podcast for them as a study partner. It could turn out flashcards. It could turn out practice quizzes for them. There really are a lot of opportunities. It can provide you outputs of a slide deck if you wanted to review. It's just a way that they could review and practice preparing for AP exams and end of the year assessments.
Okay, and I've heard about Notebook LM and how useful it is, but I also think that it has the potential to inadvertently turn coursework into independent study. And so my next question is how the division is going to know and ensure that classes are not being turned into independent study utilizing this?
I think in regards to a student using Notebook LM, it's going to come back to the teacher monitoring it. So we provided training around Notebook LM. We've provided ample training to our ITSs and LMSs around Notebook LM. We are not saying that use of it is mandatory. We're just providing it as an optional tool for our students to use moving forward as that form of a study partner. Emphasis on that Notebook LM would continue to have the same guardrails that our Gemini has, so it would only be accessible to our students during the instructional day where they would be monitored by a teacher who's given them approval to use it.
Okay, but what I'm asking is how our division is going to provide oversight that coursework isn't inadvertently turning into independent study.
Ms. Brown, I'll take that. Our current practice is we conduct teacher observations and evaluation on a consistent basis to evaluate any level of instruction that they're giving to students. Courses are not identified as an independent study course in generally speaking, so our typical practice is continual observation of teacher practices and feedback on those practices. I think that's the best way I can answer what you're asking around an independent study course.
Okay, thank you. So I do think that there's a recognition from the board, and I don't want to speak for anyone, the fact that AI is here, and there's also some recognition about concerns surrounding the impact of AI, and we are adapting. However, when I voted on this policy in September, my understanding and the communicated and expressed intentions were that this would be limited to high school. And that was central to my support for that policy at that time. If I would have known that implementation into middle school would have been included at this particular time, only 7 months later, I would not have supported that policy. I did review the federal and state guidance. The White House executive order established a task force so far as created training resources, but not a mandate. And the Department of Education's guidelines are not requirements and does not spell out specific grade levels. So I'm unclear, and I feel like we're kind of jumping ahead of these frameworks and these task force and executive orders. And I recognize it's new, but I feel like, you know, even in some statements, and I do appreciate the work of staff on this, and I recognize, you know, that it has some solutions for our students and our staff, but I feel like for middle school especially, you know, we're flying blind, and I don't want to use our students as guinea pigs. So with that, I have a question for Ms. Linetti. Ms. Linetti, what would the board need to do from a process standpoint if the will of the board were not to utilize AI in middle schools at this time?
You'd either have to redo a policy or put a resolution. A policy would probably be the more direct way to inform the school division how you want them to proceed. So we'd have to take this back to policy review to take a look at it.
So the board wouldn't just be able to ask the superintendent to change the regulation?
You could ask them to come back with a recommendation, or you can draft what you want yourself. Either way would work.
Okay, thank you.
All right, colleagues, we are running out of time. I'm going to ask Dr. Goldberg to come back because we have three speakers in the queue that haven't spoken, and then I sense that a couple had additional questions as well, so that my suggestion is to add this on information and just to stick around so that we can answer everybody's questions. So we'll make an amendment to the agenda and finish this during information. All right, so we are now recessed for a break, and we will see everybody at 6 o'clock for the formal meeting. Thank you.